Hello everyone, Jai Hind and welcome to the platform of Study IQ IAS in English. My name is Bhavar Singh Through MX in DA 115th course and qualified civil services in 2012 and I welcome you on the platform. Now in this session we'll be talking about why are we killing our rivers. Basically this complete issue it pertains to the unscientific sand mining that is happening into the rivers that are there. Now this particular issue it relates to the Suknag Nala crisis where there was expert committee that was constituted, and ultimately this has found that there had been massive indiscriminate and unscientific mining in Kashmir's Suknak River. Now over here this is very important because there had been extraction of over 15 lakh tons of riverbed material that have lowered the water levels below the natural aquifers and ultimately that have dried up the perennial spring clusters into the region. Now, when it comes to Suknag Nala or the river that is there, it is the Jhelum tributary, and once it drived the trout farms and paddy fields and Sale village, and ultimately that has left the regional farming soils paralyzed or parched as well. Now, over here, the NGT has taken the cognizance, and the National Green Tribunal it has halted the actions as well as the assessed environment damage liability. And ultimately, over here, there had been the legal intervention that we have seen recently in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, this is very important because when it comes to the river hydrology, there is sediment transport balance. Now, this sediment transport balance is that the river maintains its structural integrity through the sediments, and that balance is between the sediment that inflows, that is through the weathering of the rocks, and also the sediment that goes outside or the outflow of the sediment. Now, if this balance is disrupted, so ultimately the river system is disrupted and it moves from passive deposition to the active bank erosion that can be seen. So basically the sediments is, there is both the means. That is, there is inflow of the sediments and outflow of the sediments that have to be balanced. Now, there is the groundwater connection as well because the unmined sand beds, they act as the natural check dams for the water. And ultimately, they percolate inside and they recharge the underwater or the groundwater levels as well. And thereby, if we are removing this porous filter, so this triggers a catastrophic drop in the regional groundwater tables as well. And thereby, this crisis is very, very important. Now, there is not just the impact on the groundwater, but the cruel impact can be seen over the ecological degradation as well, where the lowering of the water table, it dries up the natural springs or the village of the springs that is there and ultimately starves the downstream irrigation network. There is loss of the aquatic biota as well because of this, because it raises the turbidity, there is choking gills of the sensitive cold water fish, like for example brown trout, and it destroys the benthic food chains as well. And there is infrastructure vulnerability as well because the deep water incision exposes the bridge piers, water intake structures, and even the protected flood dikes. And there are the structure failures that we have seen. Now you can connect this with the tragedy that have struck Himachal Pradesh in the last summer or the last monsoon season as well. Because there had been, various, you can say that the development, in the name of the development, in the name of the felling of the trees, there was lots of trees that were felled down and there were lots of logs that could be seen in the videos that surfaced online. Also, when it comes to the hydropower project, so ultimately that is also one of the reasons because there is lots of the sand that is mined for the hydropower projects as well. Now, when it comes to the root cause of the river destruction, you can see that there is the mismatch when it comes to the infrastructure demand. Now, there is the massive demand for the aggregates, specifically when it comes to sand. So, sand is the second most, used or consumed natural resource that is there after the water. So, there is, when it comes to the massive demand, it outstrips the geological rate of the replenishment that we see in the riverbed. There is also circumvention of the environmental impact assessment norms where the short-term arbitrary single-acre mining permits are granted to completely bypass the mandatory environmental assessments which are there. And there is deficit in the tech enforcement as well, where there is inadequate deployment of the drone telemetry, digital geofencing, and the transport vehicle e-transit passes that allows the illegal extraction or the over-extraction of the sand from the riverbeds. And there is administrative regulatory capture where there is strong nexus between the regional local cartels or the sand mafias and even the municipal enforcement bureaus that leads to the complete systematic blind spots that could be seen. And ultimately, this nexus is one of the important means through which the overexploitation of the sand is done into the region. Now, from the National Green Tribunal, you can see and you can use this quote while you are writing the answer for your environment related, the questions in your mains, and that is, we cannot treat rivers as mere liquid highways and mineable quarries. They are living, integrated ecological system that possesses the intrinsic rights to flow, sustain biodiversity, and maintain the ecological integrity as well. Now, here you can see that we have the regulatory framework in India. We have the MMDR, that is, Minerals and Mines Development and Regulation Act 1957. Its section 15 is where the minor mineral regulations had been regulated or they had been delegated entirely to the state governments. Now, over here, when it comes to the strategic vulnerability, you can see that there is fragmented state level rules that leads to the cross-border enforcement voids as well. Now, when it comes to the another framework, we have the EIA notification of 2006, that is environmental impact assessment, which is a mandatory environmental clearance for the sand leases by the state environmental impact assessment agencies. And over here, the local institutional manipulation is there of the baseline river scientific data that leads to the overexploitation of the sand mining. Then there is the guidelines which were issued by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in 2016 and 2020 as well, that pertains to the district survey reports and the GPS dumper tracking. And over here, there had been poor local compliance of these guidelines, and the reliance had been on the draft DSR to issue the mining permits, which had been barred by the Supreme Court as well. And that is what I'm talking about, that there had been landmark judicial precedent in the state of UP versus Gaurav Kumar. And in 2025, the Supreme Court have let down that the final valid DSR or the district survey report, it is mandatory and it is non-negotiable prerequisite for granting any of the environmental clearance. Now, the Supreme Court have also held that the issuing of the mining tenders that are based on the draft reports, they are completely illegal, and it has also affirmed that the sand extraction that must be subordinated to the state's duty to protect the river ecosystem that is under Article 21, that is under the right to life and personal liberty that had been granted. So over here, it has to be noted that there had been 100% mandatory compliance with the final DSR that has been laid down by the Supreme Court, which is again overlooked by the local authorities while granting the permits and the leases for the mining in the region. Now, there is severe extraction replenishment gap that you can see in the Himalayan glacial basin. You can see that the extraction rate is 350% of the replenishment limit. Then when it comes to the Indo-Gangetic alluvial rivers, the extraction rate is right now 480% of the limit of replenishment. Then in the peninsular sand beds, that is in the Deccan region, you can see that it is 310% of the replenishment limit. And in the western coastal riverway, the extraction rate is 240% of the replenishment limit. And this shows that there is massive volumetric imbalance, and unscientific mechanization draws mineral volumes 2.4 times to 4.8 times higher than the natural hydrological sedimentation limits, and thereby this is a concern when it comes to the illegal and the major of the sand mining that is happening into the riverbeds. Now, how can we substitute it, or how can we stop the problem that is in front of us? The first thing is M sand, or the manufactured sand. It is produced by crushing the hard granite rocks, and there is zero riverbed footprint. Structurally, it is stronger and eliminates the silt impurity that is in the sand. The second thing is we can use the recycled concrete aggregates, which is utilized by treating the construction and the demolition waste, and ultimately that will replace the primary river gravel, and we should have the regulatory substitution mandate. There are European models where public construction must use a minimum of 30% alternative sand, and that fully bans the in-stream mining as well. So that is what needs to be done when it comes to the way forward or the solution to the crisis. At the same time, we should also reform the riverbed governance where we should move towards the technology-first tracking. We should deploy the UAV drone volumetric surveys to calculate the replenishment limits before auctioning of the bids that are there. Also, there should be mandatory RFID-based e-passes and geofence excavation zones that must be, built. At the same time, there should be the community co-management where there should be decentralization of the river monitoring to the Gram Sabhas. And ultimately, we should establish the local spring protection committees to ensure that traditional water structure, it remains undisturbed. And also there should be market sand surcharges that should be there. All right. Ultimately, if the price will get rise, so the people will look towards the other alternatives, and we should impose severe ecological restoration cess on the riverbed sand so that the alternatives, like for example, we have M sand and CNT aggregates, they will become economically competitive in the country. All right, so that would be all in this session. I hope that now you have the complete understanding that why are we killing our rivers and why there is the illegal sand mining that is happening in India. And it is not just about Jammu Kashmir, it is not just about the Himalayan region, but also in the Deccan, in the western coastal regions as well. Now, if you are preparing for the civil services, you can enroll into the optional batches on the platform of Study IQ. I'm taking the public administration optional, and even you can join the GS Foundation batches. We have the GS Foundation P2I batches, and for English, we have the resolution batch. Now, over here, these batches have been structured upon the SMART model where you get the structured classes, you get mentorship, assessment, revision, as well as test. And you can use the code that is BRS Live for the maximum discount. That is what you are getting right now. We have the limited offer for the 50% off, and you can enroll into the batches using the code that is BRS Live. Or if you are encountering any problem, you can call us at 764000300. 76400 and 3000. That is 764,000 3000. So that would be all in this session. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me over here on the platform of Study IQ IAS in English. I will see you in the next, but till then, take care of yourself. Also, do not forget to like the session, share the session with your friends, as well as subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss any of the updates in future. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care and Jai Hind.